We have breaking news from the art world. A statement from the Department of Justice, Lisa Schiff, which was an art advisor to celebrities. She was convicted of fraud, embezzlement, although that's not quite the words they use. And so from 2018 to 2023, when she actually confessed, she confessed in May 2023, and that's what ended that stretch of her taking money from clients and putting that money in her personal account for her personal and business needs. So what she was doing as an art advisor is she pretty much was an intermediate between what would be auction houses and galleries and personal buyers. So she was a person that would be between the auction house and the people who were either selling or buying art. She was not giving the payments to the people whose art she sold, or on the behalf of whoever was selling the art or whoever owned the art, in other words. So she wasn't paying them, and she also wasn't purchasing certain works that she was hired to purchase. And to, let's say, bind this whole situation together, she lied to both parties, the sellers and the buyers. At times she claimed she had not sold artwork that she had sold. And at times she lied to the people who were expecting their payments and saying that she didn't receive a payment. Now, it was a total of 12 clients at $6.5 million, well, approximately $6.5 million. So she was ordered to pay a forfeiture of $6,408,538.20 and a restitution of $9 million. Now, as of 2024, she was Associate Director of the Publishing, Archives, and Digitization Group at the California Digital Library. So that goes on a lot in the art world. When you get to a certain place in your career, you understand that sometimes the most distracting thing that could happen to you is an opportunity, meaning most opportunities aren't the route to take. And that's why I made an effort to get my ego in check. And I don't mean a sense of having an inflated ego and arrogance and stuff like that. I mean my ego in check of not being mesmerized by money, not being mesmerized by getting attention and the fame of it all. Although those are things that I want. Those are things that I desire. But not being mesmerized by it to the point of not being strong enough to not put your hand in a cookie jar. Being strong enough to not make, let's say, irrational investments or whatever may cause you to, or cause an individual to lose a lot of money and become in debt. So a lot of times when we're in debt, and I'm in debt, I'm in severe debt. I've been off from my career, taking a break to heal. And you'll hear about those stories in the future. So I took a break, which I wasn't on break for the entire 10 years, but it's been 10 years. And I had to heal so I could make better decisions in life than what I was making. And also, so when I get into positions where I am dealing with these art advisors, auction houses, galleries, or even direct to sell buyers, that I'm not making irrational or rash decisions based upon either clout or money. So you don't know what situation somebody may end up in where they may end up doing that type of stuff. And fraud is something that's very common in the art world. So this case seems to be amongst all across the board, not just in the art world. Just what's going on in America, what's going on in our society, where people are getting caught, or they're telling, in this case she told on herself, and people are getting charged and also sentenced, which I think her sentencing was supervised. I'm not sure if she's going to actually go to an actual prison. And it's hard in the art world. It's hard to get yourself out there and get your product out there, which is art that you create. It's hard to get that out there, and it's also hard to even get into the position of working with somebody like Lisa Schiff. You want that type of art advisor who is reputable and who will, if you're an artist, which I'm an artist, who will get you in those conversations, in those rooms of people with that type of money, 12 people at $6 million. You want to make those type of sales. You want to make $1 million sales. That's what I want to do. I'm not saying that's what everybody want to do, but when you get to a certain point and that's where you're looking at, and that's the level you want to be on, and you're trying to sell on that level, you want to make $1 million sales. So we'll see if there's more people. And mind you, she told on herself. She came forward. And just the fact that she was doing this for 5 years, and 5 years isn't that long of a time, but in my personal opinion, it's long enough for people to start wondering where's my money, and or where is my art, on both sides. So being in your studio and being an artist, that's stressful enough. So we need professionals who we can trust that will help us sell our work and sell it at the price that it is worth. So, of course, that's not every art advisor. Let's hope not. But, of course, that can't be every art advisor. So, I don't know why no one came forward. I don't know what happened legally, if anybody was filing legal claims on her. But what the report said was that the debt, it had become so great, like the amount had become so much until she had to tell, she felt she had to tell on herself because it was too much for her. That's how much she was in debt to both parties, the sellers and the buyers. I mean, $6.5 million, that's no walk in the park. And I understand compared to billionaires and people like that, $6.5 million isn't like a large amount. To artists, that's a lot of money to us. To galleries, that's a lot of money to us. Even to the celebrities who are buying the work, that's a lot of money. And especially, that was only 12 people at $6.5 million. So it's really hard to be a business person and at the same time being in your studio. Eventually, you're going to have to get some type of assistance. You're going to have to seek some advisor. You're going to, even if you're going to the gallery themselves. I've been looking for an art advisor for the past 3 years. A reputable art advisor. Probably I won't start off with somebody on the level as Lisa Schiff. Hopefully I do. That would be great if the first art advisor that's willing to work with me is on a level as Lisa Schiff. Some might call the gallery the middleman, but there's the person between the gallery, unless the gallery themselves have their own advisor. But a lot of times there's the gallery, then there's an art advisor like Lisa Schiff who's doing their own thing. So you have two middle men. And that's what made me decide I should just stop thinking about or stop trying to go through the gallery. It's very hard to sell your work at the amount that it's worth and have to pay the gallery and then have to pay, if you have to pay an art advisor outside of the gallery, that's too many hands in the cookie jar for me. And that's too many opportunities for money to get lost or have these type of things to happen with, hey, not being able to track the art or track the money. So that's what we have, that news that broke on us today. And we'll see what's more to come, and hopefully we don't have too many of these type of stories. And I didn't want my first story or the first content that I make about art to be about something like this. But that's just how the cards played out. But definitely there will be more art content, and we'll be discussing more about art in the art world. And hopefully it's not just people who are familiar in the art world or a part of the art world that will be interested in this content, and other people will start being interested in the content, because I think the art world is pretty cool. To me, it is really cool. So you don't have to sell art. You don't have to buy art, which we hope that you do, but just people who have an appreciation for art. So we'll talk more about art, and hopefully my next story will be something more on a positive note. But yeah, Lisa Schiff sentenced to 2.5 years for diverting funds, as the Justice Department said, diverting funds from her company Schiff Fine Art to her personal accounts for personal expenditures.